Hello again, this is Shorthand Sue. This time I want to invite you to an advanced Teeline class. Now I am presuming that you've completed the theory in your book and now you're ready for some speed development. But before we go any further, I really must tell you that practice and practice is what's needed for speed development, and the practice must be regular. But once you've taken down your Teeline, don't stop there. What you then need to do is read your Teeline, make sure you can read everything, and at the same time analyse it. Look at the words that you've found difficult to write, and then practice them or come up with an outline that's going to be much easier for you to read. I have a few tips which I would love to share with you to help you to increase your speed. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to the concept of omissions and implied words in speech. Now these words are usually little words like and, of the, to the, and even or. But probably the most useful to you will be to and to the. You will see coming onto your screen now some very popular phrases used quite a lot by exam boards. I would like you to try and write them down the way that you do normally, and then I will introduce to you the implied words and a quicker way to write them. So here are the phrases. I am pleased to see. I am pleased to say. I would like to see. I would like to say. I have to say. I am pleased to be able to tell you. Okay, now here's my versions. You'll be used to I am pleased, but by missing out the word to, I'm now able to join up see. So I've got I am pleased see, but the to is implied in the phrase. And just the same with this one. I am pleased say, but the to is implied in that phrase as well. Then the next popular phrase is I would like see, I would like say. To is implied both ways. And if you really want to try something a little bit faster, you could try just the I indicator. I would like see, I would like say. If you write at 140 words a minute, there's no way that you'll write that any faster. And if we go over to these two, I have say, I have to say. And the last one, I am pleased be able to tell you. I am pleased, missing out the to, allows us to join up the be, able to, and tell you. Next, I have a couple of phrases for you to try that have the little words of and the in. So just do it as normal at first, and then I'll put up for you the complete version or the quickest version. So if you want to try these, members of the committee, members of the press, members of the public, members of the gang, members of the group, members of the club. Okay, now here's my version of the outlines. We're taking the reduced outline members, missing out of the, and committee. Then again we've got members, press, members, reduced outline for public, members of the public, members, gang, Keep it close so you can see it's all part of that grouping. Members group, members of the group. Members club, that's your reduced outline for club. Members of the club. Now, the most common errors with exam boards is you and we. And initially when you start shorthand, you think, I'll always be able to tell the difference, you and we. But you're not under pressure then. When you're taking down dictation, the you slowly gets bigger and it starts to look like a we. And if you get it wrong once, you'll get it wrong 3, 4, 5 times. And you're allowed very few errors, a 97% pass. So the first thing to do is to try and join them up as much as you can, because that helps you to keep it the size it should be. So, will you? You will. We will. You are you? We are is slightly different, and most people forget that one. We put the E vowel in to take the R out. Now, sometimes we need to change from this U, which is your full U vowel, to the U indicator. If we can do that, it means we're going to get more phrases in and we're not going to mistake the two words we and you. Let me give you an example of that. If I want to say we could be able to, we could be able to. You could be able to. It's very similar. And if we make this one too big, we're going to get it wrong. So what I'd like you to try is you indicator. You could be able to. Another very common phrase is you should. Keeping that for you, you'll never ever mistake it for W, and you're going to save yourself quite a lot of marks. Another one is you must. So do try that one, and it's really worth it. Now this time I want you to get your brains working and have a look at these outlines and see if you can tell what I've written. They're all similar, but what I've done, I've joined the last word to the grouping. It makes it nice and quick, and it's such a distinctive outline, I don't think you'll ever misunderstand it. Right, I hope you've got them, but here they are now. Could be held. Should be held. To be held. Must be held. Will be held. Excellent if you go into a meeting or a council meeting. Now, I'm hoping everybody can read this. I know that. Comes up an awful lot in exams, and we need to get it down as quickly as possible. So this time I'll give you my version. I know. And again, that is such a distinctive word. I find it's quite safe to take the T off, bring the H down, and then finally cross it. It seems that. Again, a very, very popular phrase. We're going to start above the line with it, seems, and again I'm going to take the T off the that and come straight down with the H and cut through. It just couldn't be any other word other than that. Now, one of the best tips I can give you is when you learn something in Teeline is to transfer that knowledge to other phrases. And if you've used Teeline Gold for journalists, you'll probably have seen these two phrases, in the past, in the last. You can run with this now and add it to other phrases, and one in particular is in the future. Sometimes we learn these phrases and you're sat in an exam taking down your Teeline and you get a very similar phrase, and it throws you. And it throws you because it's similar, but it's not exactly the same as you've learnt. An example of this one could be in the near future. So immediately you go back to in the near future. What we need to do is remember this and try and add in the near. So we're not going to take our pen off and do it individually. And the way I adopt this one is in the. Let's forget about the R, because two of the main things that you've changed throughout Teeline is N and R. So we've got in the N future. All that's contained there, and it's so much quicker to write. But there will be other phrases that you can do. And another example of taking what you've learnt and adding it to other words is this one. And it is one that you will use. You've got at. And by now, you'll have all have seen that little ending for end, which is in the end, at the end. It's just the letter D. When we get the word attend, again, if it's a meeting, that word's going to come up for sure. What you need to do is take what you know and put it into the word. Rather than do A, T, blended N, D, why not try this one? At, end. There's your at, you know that. There's your end, you know that. If it was attended, attended. So much quicker, and it's what you know as well. Now, I can remember well when I was like you, and I was trying to write faster and faster and practicing everything I could because I wanted to get past that 100 words a minute. Then I started to take time out and look at my shorthand, look at what was causing me to write things a little bit more slowly or I couldn't read back. And these are some of the things that I came up with from my style of shorthand, but it's worth you looking at yours to see what you can write quicker or better. Now I found so if you make the O too big, it's just going to look like a W. So I decided to take it out completely. So much became so much. And I just kept saying that to myself in my head. So many became so many. And that's how I remembered it. Now the word how, H-W, very, very shallow angle. Writing 100, 120 words a minute, it looks like an L. So I decided that had to go. How much became H much. How many became H many. The fact that much and many are distinctive outlines, I always knew it was how much and how many. Then there's one more thing I think you'll find useful. If not in an exam, you're really going to find it useful when you're working. If you're called to an accident, if you're reporting on an accident and the emergency services arrive, that's my shortcut for emergency services. E for the emergency, and then S is service, 2 S's is your plural, E services. I do hope some of these ideas have been useful to you and that you're able to use them. And more importantly, I do wish you good luck on your journey towards the 100 words a minute that every reporter needs and wants.